Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my video about The Sims 4 November 12, 2019 Windows Mac game update, the legacy version rollout, and more. Just as an overview, I'm going to be touching on, as I mentioned, the game update from November 12th, which was for Windows and Mac. I'm going to go over some new features, bug fixes, impact on mods, and other reported issues since the update. I'm also going to talk about the legacy version that rolled out yesterday and the fact that there were some Origin updates on November 12th at the same time. Now to start with, I'm going to take a look at the new items that we got in the November 12th game update. We got multi-story columns. We also got UI scaling, main menu messaging, so they have messages on main menu from the Sims team now, and some new clothing, which I'll go over shortly, for children and toddlers. And we also got the hip-hop radio station added for everyone. However, to get the Get Famous exclusive music, you need to have Get Famous. They have added other music, which is up there on the screen and is in the patch notes, which I will link down below. So for the new clothing that we got, it is part of the holiday stuff pack, and we got a little outfit for toddler boys in many different colors. And I had a little boy, so I cleared it, and there's the outfit that is actually coming for toddler girls that he is wearing right now, as well as some little shoes, which I will show the colors of very shortly. The little shoes are for both boys and girls, and it comes in a variety of colors there. You can see, I think that is 12 colors that it comes in, so very cute. Now for the children, they both got a top, so which is kind of like a coat. So the boys, you can see here, is like a little jacket over a sweater, and then the shoe, or boot I should say, is for both boys and girls. They both can wear them, and it comes in, I think, 9 colors there. And of course for the little girls, they have this sort of jacket with a little sweater underneath it, but it is closed, and like the boys, and they, as I said, also got the boots, which I transferred into there. So the other big thing is the new columns, which we essentially can adjust them to whatever size that we want, with some exceptions which are marked there, and they are limited because of the fact that they look odd when they're stretched too far. But you can make them pretty high, as you can see right there. Very, very high. Now, here is an example of the new menu. So it has the news about the patch being out, and then as we get new surveys, we will have that. And if you want to get the survey for the community, there's actually the UI where you adjust the UI in and out, and the red area is where you don't want to have it. You want it in the white area, and that's supposed to help accessibility, and that's where you go to turn on your surveys if you want to get notified of the community stuff pack. Some other new things that we got was the ability to lock the computers for specific Sims or for, household, whatever, similar to what you would have on a door lock. So that means no pesky Sims coming into your house and using your computer instead of socializing with your Sims. Now, the other thing we got is the ability to split up the household from the computer or the phone. It works the same in both directions, and you can split up from the household and move, which previously you had to go to Manage Worlds. But not only that, we can take funds with you, and you can it'll come out of your family's household funds to the new household. So I know that's a feature I see many people asking for, so that is not unique to university. It is something that we can do. And you can also do it for managed households like you could do it before, but with the funds. Now, the ability to assign sides of beds and assign beds is something else that's new, but that has replaced essentially the ability to claim a bed. So along with the new items, we got a whole slew of bug fixes and updates, just a ton. And that obviously is because the legacy version was being rolled out, so they wanted to have a lot of the bug fixes in for the legacy version because it will not get any more updates. Now, some things to note, I am not going to read these all. There are so many of them, but the grab a meal or give food for all ages should now fulfill hunger needs completely. But I've seen some issues on the other side, so we'll go over that afterwards. Idle Sims are not supposed to drink water excessively. I've seen a lot of people complaining about that, and I have seen that a lot in my game. And another thing that I'm very excited about is that rare and uncommon harvestables will now be produced at higher rates when splicing. I have not tested that yet, but that is something that was by design when they made it so that it was almost impossible for it to happen. Though it did, I have had it happen. So the fact that it's higher, hopefully it's enough higher to actually make it feasible to do splicing again. So of course we had some general game fixes, and we had some fixes that were for specific packs, which are up there on the screen. And one of the things is that Sims can no longer simultaneously have two occult types, specifically vampires and aliens. And there was a report of an issue with that on EA Answer headquarters, where you could have hybrids in the game, but they're not supposed to happen, and so they were glitchy. So now that's supposed to be fixed, that they aren't supposed to happen anymore. So we'll see whether that is actually a thing. Another funny one is Lighthouse Woohoo Spot is back in business. I've seen a few people saying that that's not an option, and Sims are able to complete crafting pet medicine with marketable trait, and that's something I have actually experienced myself before. I've recently seen people commenting about there's no child and teen Sims coming during the holiday season for trick-or-treating, and that's supposed to now be fixed. One thing that I was happy to see is it's less likely to rain at GeekCon festivals now, which should keep those computers safe. I'm guessing they did that because they realized that rain and robots didn't mix for Discovery University, and so this has been a reported issue. So you should be able to go to GeekCon more safely now and actually have things that work. For this particular page, one thing that I see that I am hoping is actually true is adult Sims are less likely to autonomously watch Kids Network if toddlers, children, and teens aren't nearby. Why they're watching it when teens are nearby, I'm not really sure, but yay, that's a good thing. A lot of bug fixes for island living you can see up there on the screen. I've seen a few of these as issues that people have had with their game. My conservationist Sims who have maxed the career no longer get any extra money or bonuses, so I have to check that one out to see whether that is actually true. For some final ones, for Realm of Magic, spellcasters with the bloodline trait will no longer have their rank reset if they reach the virtuoso rank. I have seen a lot of people complaining about that one, though I've seen some people say it even happens without a bloodline trait, but hopefully that's fixed it for everyone. And potions can now be sold for simoleons. However, I did actually try that one out, and they weren't worth very much, or at least not the potion that my sim did. It was a potion of plentiful needs. It was normal. It was worth 5 simoleons. So it was still worth more than the apple that was 3 and you got 4 of them. But, you know, you're still not going to be making a lot of money off of that, I have to say. So, but at least it got some value. And I did notice that some of the ones they got as rewards had higher values. So hopefully they'll be worth more if your Sims have better quality potions. My Sims weren't very high, so that might have been the issue. Also there, Spooky Party will now count towards the party animal aspiration. And I've seen a lot of people complaining with Moschino stuff that there were issues with the game freezing while in photo mode. That is supposed to be fixed. Now on to mods. So SimGuru Nick tweeted yesterday, crashing when you try to start the game up. It could be out-of-date mods or broken CC. Lots of stuff broke with today's patch. Please don't assume that your CC is fine because it's just CC. Check out the thread below. And I will show some information there on that thread from Dr. Luth, which is from the forums. But I will link to that tweet, which will then link to the forums because I've had issues linking to the forums on YouTube in the past. So here's her first page. She goes over some frequently asked questions. And one thing to note is that I've seen a lot of people, I've been busy trying to help people, and a lot of people assume that their mods are okay. You really need to go back and check because there's actually a lot of mods that are causing the game to crash if you don't have the most recent version. And even if you think you have the most recent version, I know MCC issued a hot fix yesterday and there's a new one out again today. So you should keep going back to make sure. And this is a good site for any non-18 plus mods because it's the forums, it's official by EA. They can't track or even mention any non-18 plus, or they can't mention any 18 plus mods here. But I also know that some of the 18 plus mods have broken, but I think the majority of them, or the ones I've seen, have been fixed. But not everything's fixed yet. you'll see this going behind in the background. I pulled this up earlier, but do go look and check it out yourself. A lot of mods broke. A lot of the bigger mods are actually now working again or have been fixed, and this shows when I got this, it was referring to the hotfix 6.6.1 for MCC, but it is actually 6.6.2. I saw that. And so you can see there's a lot of mods that have been updated, including some Kawaii Stacy mods. Little Miss Sam did an update to like 60 mods as a bulk zip file, and Scarlett has updated a lot of her mods. There's just a lot. You can see a lot of mods. There's the big list of Little Miss Sam up on the screen. So you can see here on the screen that showers and tub showers are broken, and it's suggesting to remove them pending an update to Sims 4 Studio, because Sims 4 Studio will need to be updated so you can then fix it. And then hopefully any new showers and tub showers created by CC content creators will be using that new version of Sims 4 Studio, so they'll be okay. But if you go get any more before Sims 4 Studio gets an update, then they still will be broken, the same as anything you have in your game right now. That update needs to happen. And so you can see some other information, as well as some information about some mods that are reported as fine. I'm not going to read them all. There is so many. You really need to go take a look. Now, another thing noted on this final page is new and relevant. Little Miss Sam has a quick meal bug fix, but I will actually talk about that in more detail when I'm talking about some of the problems seen since the game update. First off, there is this tweet by SimGuru Nick. Mac users, if you're seeing tearing static in your game, please try switching your edge smoothing to low or off and let me know if that fixes it for you. And he is actually looking for, I will link this tweet below, he's looking for, if you're having problems, to know, what your operating system is, what your graphics card is. I did see another user comment that turning to Windows mode helped them when this didn't help, so that's another thing you might want to consider trying. And the next thing that I alluded to there in the mod fix for from Little Miss Sam is that as of now, children can no longer get quick meals from the fridge. If you have either outdoor retreat or toddler stuff pack, they come with coolers. They can get quick meals from coolers. I tested that because I have both those packs. And they can also make quick meals on a microwave, but those quick meals are things you make on the microwave and not things that you would normally just grab from the fridge, like, say, cereal. So if you want your Sim kids to have cereal for breakfast right now, they can't do that on the fridge unless you use that mod by Little Miss Sam. Another thing I've been seeing is that some toddler needs, much as they made it so that they eat their food fully, their needs right now seem to be tanking a lot quicker, and I've seen a few people commenting that they've had that issue. I'd have to say for me, I have seen it in some of my saves, but I don't know that I've seen it in all of my saves. I've seen it more extreme in some saves than others, so I don't know if it's across the board for everybody, but it is something you may be able to see. And then the other thing that I have also seen in one of my saves is that if you have a sim who has a lot of harvestables, i.e. fruit, vegetables, and flowers, and they're better than normal quality, when you load up your save for the first time after the update, they'll all be there. But if you save and quit and go back in, odds are they'll all be gone, because that's what I've seen happen, and other people have seen the same thing happen. So the workaround is that you need to sell them all. So that you get the money, because you'll lose them and you won't get the money for them, and there just really isn't anything other than that. Obviously, if you go out without saving it, recover your save to the previous one, they'll be back again. Obviously, any progress you made won't be there, but you won't have lots of things. Now, this doesn't just happen when you exit and go back in. It can also happen with travel. So those are two things that you might want to look out for happening for you if your sim happens to have harvestables in their game that are better than normal quality. Normal quality things seem to be fine and seem to be staying. And this is not just in the personal inventory. This happens with the fridge. It happens with the chest. The person here is mentioning the flower arranging station. So you do just, it may just be across the board for inventory. So I would be careful with that if you if your Sims are in a position that they can't afford to lose the money, I would just sell it, or lose the value. I would sell it before you travel or exit and save your game. Or save and exit, I should say. The other thing I've seen a lot of comments about, and I have actually done a small tutorial video for this, is that the old Sims 4 shortcut on their desktop is no longer working. And that's because the old executable file is gone and it's been replaced with a 64-bit file. This is for 64-bit users, this is not for legacy. This is if you're still on the 64-bit version. So you need to essentially create a new shortcut. Now moving on to the legacy version. And now this is coming right from EA Answer headquarters and EA May's essentially right up on it. So the first question is, where can I get the Sims 4 Legacy Edition? And it's available. It's actually here for players who already own the Sims 4. Now that it's available, you can add it to your game library by opening the detail page for the Sims 4 on Origin, and it's located under the Extra Content tab. So once you've gone there and you add it, you say get it now, you're going to add it to your library, and then you want to download it and it will install it. So you will need Sims 4 on your computer to also get the Sims 4 Legacy Edition to work. That said, if you are on a 64-bit Windows system or a Metal Mac system, you will be able to download it, but you don't need it. So generally, I don't recommend you doing it. But you can see here on this this little video clip that I had that it's available for anyone to download it. Some more frequently asked questions. Will the Sims 4 on my non-Metal Mac be automatically updated to the legacy version? And the answer is no. When you try to open the Sims 4, if your Mac doesn't support Metal, you will be asked to download it, but then you need to then download it. And the same is actually true if you're on a 32-bit Windows operating system. It'll do the exact same thing. Here's a question specific to Mac. My computer is running a version of Mac OS that supports Metal, but I'm being told I have to use the Legacy Edition. Is something wrong? So here is the answer. Apple's Metal technology supports only more modern GPUs. You will have to use the Sims 4 Legacy Edition if your Mac OS computer does not have Intel HD and Iris graphics from the HD 4000 series or newer, AMD GCN-based GPUs, and NVIDIA Kepler-based GPUs or newer. So that will explain for some people who are on Metal why they still have to have the Legacy Edition. So as I alluded to earlier, there is a question here. Will the Sims 4 Legacy Edition receive any additional content or bug fixes in the future? And the answer is no. The Sims 4 Legacy Edition will not receive any more content or bug fixes, which is why I'm guessing they released the Christmas or the holiday content this early. Normally it comes in December. Will any online features still work in the Sims 4 Legacy Edition? The gallery, game banners, and social integrations will be disabled. The Sims 4 Legacy Edition will not display or allow any purchase of content released after the update happens. So here is what stuff packs, game packs, and expansion packs can I play using the Sims 4 Legacy Edition? You will be able to purchase and play all stuff, game, and expansion packs released between September 2nd, 2014 up to November 12th, 2019. And the list is detailed there. However, stuff packs, game packs, and expansion packs released after September 2019 will be unavailable, which includes Discover University. If you have pre-ordered Discover University and you find that you're on a legacy version, you can contact them and get your money back. I have seen people tweeting to, SimGuru Nick and possibly SimGuru Frost, but I've seen some tweets, and that's essentially what they're being told to do, is to contact EA and get your money back. Will custom content still work with the Sims 4 Legacy Edition? It will be up to the custom content or mod developer to decide to support their custom content for both the Sims 4 and the Sims 4 Legacy Edition. Now, will there be different versions of the Sims 4 Legacy Edition for non-Metal, Mac OS, and 32-bit Windows, and there will be one version that you'll be able to download. Another question, will my save files still work in the Sims 4 Legacy Edition? Yes, save files will still work with the Sims 4 Legacy Edition. Your save files will automatically transfer over when you first launch the Sims 4 Legacy Edition. I have seen some issues with that. which I'll touch on after. Standard Sims 4 save games will only be transferable into the Sims 4 Legacy Edition if the save was generated before the Legacy Edition update to the base game. If you play and save in a newer version of The Sims 4, that save game will not be transferable to the Legacy Edition. So only saves that are before the Legacy Edition can go over into the Legacy Edition. Can I transfer my save files to The Sims 4 in the future? You can transfer your saves from the Legacy Edition to the regular, like to the standard Sims 4, and you do it by copying from the Documents Electronic Arts, the Sims 4 Legacy Edition, so that's where it's going to be located, saves into the Documents Electronic Arts, the Sims 4 folder, which is where our game normally is right now. Will I be able to download and update The Sims 4 in a different computer if I get The Sims 4 Legacy Edition now? Yes, if you get The Sims 4 Legacy Edition, both versions of the game will coexist in your Origin game library. And so if you get a better computer, you will still have full access to The Sims 4. It just won't work on a computer that doesn't support The Sims 4. How can I uninstall The Sims 4 Legacy Edition from my Metal-compatible Mac or 64-bit OS PC? Even if you have both versions installed on your computer, The Sims 4 Legacy Edition will only run if you're playing on a non-Metal Mac OS or a 32-bit OS PC. So it's saying even if you accidentally download it or somehow, you will still be by default using the actual 64-bit version if your computer supports it, or the Metal version for Macs. And can I install The Sims 4 Legacy Edition without installing The Sims 4? And the answer is no. The Sims 4 Legacy Edition requires The Sims 4 to be installed on your computer to run. So essentially, if you have to run The Sims 4 Legacy Edition, you're going to have The Sims 4 on your computer, and then you're going to have the Legacy Edition also on your computer. Now back to that question about the saves. There is a post by Krinrick on EA Answer Headquarters, which I will also link down below. Here is something from that particular post. All my saves are gone. If you install the Legacy Edition, the game creates a folder called The Sims 4 Legacy Edition in your Documents folder. The game should automatically move all files over to that folder when you start the game. If that's not the case, try copying everything manually. And if you're on Windows, be sure to check OneDrive to see that it's maybe the folder the game is using. Now keep in mind, if you have switched over to the Legacy version, your mods NCC can still be a problem because they're still broken and you still are using an updated version of the game. So the mods breaking will also have an impact, because I've seen some people saying they can't open their Legacy Edition and then comment later, oh right, it was this mod or this mod. And there was a lot of mods that are causing the game to either not open or to crash. It's not just one thing. Now, the other thing is that per that same thread on EA Answer Headquarters by Krinrick, there was I was forced to download the Legacy Edition, though I have 64-bit. You can switch back to 64-bit through Origin. You right-click on the game in Origin and choose Game Properties. You click on Advanced Launch Options, and then you just switch it back to 64-bit. The other thing is that yesterday, as I'm recording this, or November 12th, there were also 2 critical updates for Origin. I know I got the first one, and then I had to actually fully update it, and then I got another notification, and I had to do it again, and it was such that it said that if you don't update it, it was going to force you to go offline in 24 hours, which it probably is about that 24 hours right now. So if you're offline, it may be because you haven't updated your Origin. It's easy to update your Origin. Just exit your game, and when you go back in, it should prompt you to update it. So let me know if you had a favorite part about the game update in the new features or in the bugs, if there was a bug fix that you're really excited to see. And let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much!